So, hi everybody. I am here with Michelle, Christine, with Avalon Priestess, and also she's initiated in the Order of the Blue Rose. And we will speak together about these blue roses energetic field and also initiatic path. And so I'm very happy to connect with you, Michelle, and to let the blue roses field move across us. And yes, to ask you some questions and to discuss about how the blue roses came into your life, as we met in a program with Oli Ryannon, who bring us this teaching, this very special teaching about the feminine divine energy. Yes, so would you like to tell something about these those blue roses?
Of course. So thank you so much for having me here. I'm so happy to be talking about the Order of the Blue Rose. It's my favorite thing to talk about. And so for me, the blue roses really starting coming through very strongly. I guess it was about 3 years ago when I was studying with Holly Rhiannon. I'm in her priestess program with Awakening Avalon. And I started to have these dreams about these blue roses. And it was sort of like I needed to know everything about these roses. And I started seeing them everywhere, like even going to the grocery store and seeing blue roses, or catching something on TV and there's a blue rose. So I felt them just permeating into my field. And Holly started to talk about the Order of the Blue Rose, and I just knew in my soul that I was part of that. I have chills right now, that I was just like, this is what I'm here to bring through, to teach about, to connect with other women in the Order of the Blue Rose, and to really like restore the feminine face of God, the divine feminine. And so it's led me on quite a journey then to find, you know, other teachers for the Order of the Blue Rose. And then eventually this year, I really had the call to start my own Order of the Blue Rose, and where so I'm on that journey right now, and that has been just so beautiful and so amazing, because it feels like the Order of the Blue Rose has a life on its own, and it'll guide those of us together and feel a resonance. Like even when I saw you on Instagram, I felt an immediate resonance with you.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, I had chills again. Yeah.
And yeah, blue roses are. How would you describe for someone who doesn't know anything about these blue roses, who are not flowers? Why actually the roses? Why the blue?
Such a good question. So now the interesting thing about blue roses is that they currently don't exist in nature. But for those of us who are connected to them, they're so real. And the blue rose to me is like the cosmic rose. And I feel a very strong connection with the blue rose and the energy of Venus. And there are some myths about the blue roses too. So it is said that On the night that Sarah Tamar, Mary Magdalene, and Yeshua's daughter was conceived, that Yeshua gave Mary Magdalene a blue rose to wear in her hair. And that then she kept this rose and she dried the rose and she used it in the initiations of the order of the blue rose. Other things the blue rose symbolizes to me is like this deep feminine wisdom within, loyalty, love, compassion, faith, integrity, of this like this very pure essence. It's like here but not from here. And it's a frequency, like the blue rose, it's like a frequency of the truly awakened heart.
Yeah, it is also about the art. But as you spoke about the cosmic and Venus connection, in my process, I also feel the connection with the water, with the mermaids, were also in service of Mary. And yes, it's interesting to notice this wool actually connection from this field, which is very cosmic, but also coming back to the earth and connected to the water, which is also the wool, the universe, the memories. And it's interesting also.
I love that, because I feel like we all hold a piece of the Order of the Blue Rose. And when I see your, like the water and the mermaids, and I really feel that in your essence, which is so beautiful. And the Marys, right? Like there's this connection with the Order of the Blue Rose and the Marys as well. Yeah. It
is very ancient, and you spoke about Mary Magdalene. As you know, Annabelle du Boulay and her rose lineage wisdom. Maybe it is also good to make the connection with the blue roses, as Annabelle doesn't speak about the blue roses, but also as we are feeling this blue ray energy, and Oli also spoke about the origin, the very first creation.
Yeah. Yes.
Of Gaia. Yes, it is so ancient, so profound, so deep, so like a memory we have inside us, which is difficult to speak about, actually. I feel like so.
Yeah, it's difficult to speak about because it's from the origin, right? Like the Order of the Blue Rose, the stream that comes through me is very much around Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, but it dates, it's ancient, right? Like it's way before them and comes from the origin of creation. And it really is about us, you know, kind of like shedding everything and just being our original essence. And I find that the women in the Order of the Blue Rose have this deep remembrance of their original essence, like who we were before any of the conditioning or the beliefs or any of that, like who we are meant to be, you know, just this purity of our soul and of our heart that is divine, yet we're here to embody it in the physical and bring that energy to earth. So it's it's like, right? It's so ancient when you feel into it. It's like the beginning of all of it.
It questions also then the soul, the ancient souls.
Yeah.
Would, and the question I'm just wondering now is two. So it is also the deep essence of our being, of the art, also of the art.
Yeah.
And it is feminine in the essence.
It's so beautiful because it is feminine in the essence, and the order holds both men and women. So it's really about embodying this divine feminine presence here on earth, right? So even the embodiment of our soul is feminine, and living that wisdom. And it's it is hard to speak about, you know, because it's hard to find words. It's a because the teachings of the Order of the Blue Rose are not about memorizing different teachings and all of the things. It's really about becoming the teaching and living as this divine feminine presence here. So it's really about the embodiment of these beautiful qualities of our original essence.
Yes, I feel really this question of embodiment, and also as it is so fine and subtle, and also this feminine principle has been so pushed down and hurried. It is a way to go back and to dare showing up with this essence, with this feminine side, which is very divine.
Yeah.
And I feel that is the process, actually, for this, for those souls, memories.
Yeah, to remember who we truly are, you know, from the beginning. Yeah. And I love that it's a time when the blue rose is awakening in so many people, not just women and men as well. And because it is that bringing these sacred feminine qualities back to earth and embodying them here so we can live as love, as compassion and wisdom and truth and faith.
Yeah, and to embody this, I feel also it speaks about the inner marriage, you know, the sacred union between the feminine and the masculine inside, which is also the new paradigm we are here to co-create together.
So true. It's so beautiful. And it's often seen that we're like partnered. So we have like the inner marriage and then also an external partnership as well to bring these teachings through. Similar to how Mary Magdalene and Yeshua taught, like the union of the masculine and feminine creates literally a creation field for the teachings to permeate through and to reach people. So it's like, it's just so beautiful. It's like an amplified field for the transmission of this embodiment to move through. I mean, something I will say that I've noticed about the women in the Order of the Blue Rose is our extreme sensitivity. Do you notice that?
Yes, of course.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's like there's highly sensitive empaths and all of the things, and then there's the degree of sensitivity that we hold, and it can be a challenge to be so sensitive.
It is.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I would like to add also, it is also this collective consciousness. We are in a collective field as members of the Blue Rose.
Right.
We have a sense of this collective field because we are all connected. Everything is interconnected, of course, in this world, but especially with this very specific vibration and this high sensitiveness and empathy. It is I had the feeling actually that when we went through this year, you know, that when I act something which is very connected to my truth, to my essence, when I dare show up, which is not always easy, I must agree.
I hear you.
Yeah. I do it for myself, but also the field is growing through me, and I'm nourishing the field, and there is something beyond myself, you know.
Absolutely. I have chills. Yeah. And yes, because ultimately, like, the Order of the Blue Rose is here to heal the earth and her children, you know, by our beingness, right? Like what you said, the field, you know, and it's definitely a very humbling path, and not the easiest path at all, but I also find it is so guided by the light beings in the Order of the Blue Rose that they just love us so much, and they're so grateful that we're the one in the bodies and that we're saying yes to their call. It makes me cry. Like, we're here and we're saying yes, like, we will share these keychains, we'll help others to heal, we'll help the earth to heal, we'll help them remember who they really are and their true essence, so we can step into the Garden of Eden, the new earth, and really helping to empower people to understand that the new earth isn't something we're just going to wake up and it's here. It's really through us connecting to our original essence and creating from that place, step by step. Like, every creation, every intention is like one vibration closer to the new earth, and it's very empowering when we think about that, and also realistic, I find, you know, and embodied, that we can create this together. And part of that is for us, the Order of the Blue Rose, to come together at this time and to create the field, right? You know, to hold that space. Yeah.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yes, it is not easy, but
yeah.
But I feel it is also a very high consciousness of our responsibility, and also this creatrix power, this matrix power, that we are here, and to know we are connected by these ancient teachings, that we understand each other, because I don't know why we are,
You know.
we are keepers of the mysteries deep inside, you know. And there is like an evidence, and also I feel these memories are very connected for myself, I don't know what's for you, with the nature, with the connection, deep connection to nature, the communion with nature, this sacred geometry, which is also in our bodies. And I feel really this way, which is to regain our sacred geometry, which is the beauty of this universe, which is the magic. And the magic is here. So we are here to open those gates again, which have been closed or just hidden,
Yeah.
so that the people cannot access to their true nature. And we are back here to claim this message, even if our own journey was to heal and is also to heal our deep wounds with the inner feminine and the inner masculine, which is the big story on this planet, actually.
Yeah, that was so beautifully said. So beautiful. Yeah, it is really awakening to the beauty and the magic that's all around us in this realm, like on this earth, like the beauty and magic of nature and creation. It's right here. So it's interesting because, you know, something Mother Mary has said to me many times is, you know, it's always hidden in plain sight. And like meaning the sacred feminine, like I'm always hidden in plain sight.
Yes.
And it's true. When you look, she is there. And really connecting to that purity again. Purity meaning like original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful. I mean, I do find that for me, a lot of the practices and teachings in the Order of the Blue Rose are very much about frequency and vibration. So things like using sound and like anointing, like creating sacred essential oils and crystals and different, you know, like celestial movement meditations and just things to really help us, like those that are very sensitive, to stabilize our frequency so that we can be here and be fully embodied. Because a big part of the Order of the Blue Rose is to embody our soul and to be, you know, a soul that's awakened in a human body.
Yes, it is the challenge I feel, share, to be anchored,
To be anchored.
yes, to be anchored and to go deep in the body, and also to transmute everything which has been hurt in the memories, and this is the big work. I don't know if this is really a part of the journey of the whole Blue Roses people or field. I don't know.
So
I think so. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I know, like, from the little bit I know about your story and my story as well, that yeah, like I had sexual trauma growing up and lots of trauma really, and spent a long time really healing and integrating that at a very deep level. And I feel that creates this compassion within me, and within us, right? And like this depth of, you know, because yeah, like yes, it is about embodying the light and bringing the light down through us. And it's also about being in the darkness and holding the light. And I feel like for those of us who have been in that darkness and have really found that light, that we can hold that light for others. Like, I feel like this is a deep teaching and essence of Mary Magdalene, like that she has said to me, you know, I will hold the light in the darkness until you can remember that you yourself are the light. Like, I'll sit with you in the darkness and I will love you and hold you in the darkness, holding the light until you remember who you truly are. And the journey of healing through the trauma really brought me to where I was today, because I literally had to bring my soul together again. And I feel like that too is part of the Order of the Blue Rose. So instead of being like fragmented or dissociated, we come to this place where we have like one heart, like one mind, like one soul, like we're in that oneness. And that brings a deep sense of presence. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when we're on this side of the trauma and the healing, it's like, now, am I grateful for all of that? I see how it brought me to where I was today. So in a way, yes. Was it hard? Oh my gosh. Did it bring me to my knees? Yes, absolutely. And it helped me to integrate these parts of me on such a deep level, to return to that wholeness, to that original essence, right? Like, the path of the mystic is remembering that we are whole. We've always been whole. We've just forgotten, and now we're remembering, and we're helping others remember.
Yes, that's the healing path, healer path.
Yeah. And I feel that the blue ray souls, right? Like the souls that are connected to the blue ray, they often do have very traumatic childhoods, kind of like born into families like, what are these people doing? You know, what's happening here? You know, and always kind of feeling like we don't belong, that we're alone, that the world is crazy, that we don't want to be here. It's, you know, all of the things. And I think part of our journey is to remember that we chose to be here, and then fully choosing it now, because we can only help the world and the earth and others if we like fully choose to be here.
Yeah.
In each moment.
Yes, absolutely. In each moment. And that is the work.
That's the work, right? Yeah. I mean, there's something that when Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene came to me and asked me to do the Order of the Blue Rose mentorship journey.
Oh, really?
I've never done anything like that before. And I was like, okay. And what they said was that they really wanted us all to remember them as humans, that they were in human bodies, and that they did the work. Like, they've said that to me so many times. We did the work to become who we were, to fulfill our mission. We did the work every day, in every moment. We did the work to, you know, shed everything that we're not, and to become who we truly are. And that we can do that too. But we have to do the work. It's not the easy path. Like, we have to do the work. It's not about bypassing. It's about like really being so engaged in life, and realizing that this life, with all of its joy and sadness and, you know, all of the things, like really holding all of it and seeing the beauty in all of it, because it's our journey. it's a journey that our soul chose to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel also it's maybe not easy for the people who have not this kind of spiritual opening or awakening to understand this, or to maybe to feel apart. And I don't know what kind of people you are working with in your mentoring. Are those people already on a spiritual path, or they are feeling a call with the Blue Roses? Would you like to?
Sure, of course. So the women that that I'm working with this year, yes, they've been on the spiritual path for quite a while and done a lot of work and healing on themselves, and have come to this place where they really want to embody the Holy Spirit, the divine feminine presence. And we're focusing on the way forward and remembering our wholeness, and then healing what, because things will come up, right? So healing what comes up in the process. And I think there's been such a joy in coming together with these women again, because I feel part of the Order of the Blue Rose is this feeling of not belonging and feeling alone. So it's beautiful to come together with other people who feel the same things, you know, and then for us to all support each other on the journey ahead, because we all have different gifts. Like the women, the people in the Order of the Blue Rose, like we're not the same. We all hold a piece. We all hold, like you hold this beautiful artistic creative gift. It's so beautiful. Like I don't hold that, but I like see it in you, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful that you bring that to the Order of the Blue Rose and to Earth. And another common theme with the women is this, our voice, right? So the voice in the Order of the Blue Rose is really, really important, because our voice is the frequency of our soul. Like our voice is so much more. It's literally, our voice is bringing heaven to earth through our voice, through the vibration and the frequency of our voice. So the people in the Order of the Blue Rose hold this healing property in their voice. And I think everyone I've ever talked to who feel connected to the Order of the Blue Rose have such a hard time using our voice. Like it took me years to use my voice, and it's still not easy for me. And I feel like that comes from like this order was so hidden and so protected, right? And when we've lived in other lifetimes, we would be meeting in secret, like in caves, and there was this fear about being discovered, to hold the purity of these teachings. And we're like, with everything we have, we're like preserving the purity of these teachings. And we've all at different lifetimes experienced trauma around that. So now we're here in this lifetime, right? And we hear that all the time, use your voice, you know, and for me, I was like, I'm literally frozen with fear around using my voice. Like I would love to use my voice, but you know, and that's part of the healing journey for us, because there's so much power in our voice, in everyone's voice, right? Our voices are so beautiful.
Yes, I understand. That's also, I can say the same, you know,
Yeah.
to, yes, to dare to show up with the voice is also at the same time very a challenge each time to show up. And at the same time, such a deep joy, because of this feeling of embodiment. Yes, that's my truth. And
Yeah.
I dare to be here with my truth to the world. and it is a big healing in the heart. I feel really, you know, it's like we are, by doing this, we are really healing something in the deep part of the humanity, you know, because it has been so hidden, so distracted sometimes. Also, that's also what we lived in ancient times, in ancient lives, past lives, and it requires so much courage, so much courage, so much heart for ourselves, you know, but for ourselves and everybody. And you know, when I feel sometimes, oh, okay, it's so difficult to communicate this, and when I do it, and when then I see people appreciate, and it is, oh, but it was so difficult to there. You know,
relate to that so much.
yeah.
Yeah. And I love how you presence the joy when we do use our voice, you know, and also the courage, right? Because it's such a big part of it. Like we can feel fear and access our courage to use our voice. And yeah, it's a real liberation, I feel, to speak our truth and use our voice.
I don't know if it's something specific to the Blue Roses order, you know, because I think many people are actually not enough connected to themselves, to their inner being, and it's so the culture, the over culture,
right,
is so pushing the people outside themselves. It's another kind of culture, this inner culture, this spiritual, but spiritual is not it doesn't need to be religious. I am not in a, we are not in a religious way, I feel. I speak for me, but the religious is just the inner, this inner part who knows everything, who is connected, with knows, is connected to everything, and also is creator.
yes, yeah,
And that's it. That's it.
so beautiful. It is, it's like that deep inner wisdom. Yeah, that we all have.
Yeah.
And I find with that too is like we live in a world where people are so busy, you know, and so distracted, and to really access that inner wisdom, we need to listen and to be in stillness and listening. Sometimes it's listening to the silence, right? Like it's, yeah.
Go back to the body, to the inner wisdom, and also to work on the body, because the cells are, they need to be purified, or they need to be to regain this yes, to awaken this light, and to go through the past memories. I would like to speak more about also the heart, because you
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
now you spoke about awakened heart for the Roses, and yes, what do you mean by this? Is this really a question of deep courage for oneself, as we spoke just before? It's also about love, because the art is loving oneself. Okay.
I love that question. For me, the awakened heart is like the feminine heart. Now, again, it's not just in women, but this feminine heart that just wants to like love, and that sees love and beauty in everything. It's and it's like an opening, right? Like an open energy. So so because of all the things that have happened to us in our lifetimes, so many of us have created so much protection around our heart, and it prevents us from feeling. And it really is the process of liberating ourselves from that protection. We need protection sometimes, right? And to discern in a situation if we need protection, yes. But we don't have to live in that shut down state. And the awakened heart is like the divine mother's heart that just loves, that sees everyone as her children, that's just here to like nurture and to restore and to help. And this part has been so shut down in our culture, you know, even just innately in women. Because I also work with sacred sexuality and sacred relationships, and I see a lot of women who, you know, they just want to give, they love so much, like it just kind of oozes out of them, and they've learned that this world, that being that way in this world is not always easy, so they shut that down. But what I'm saying is we need to open that up again, to really love our earth and to love one another, and to like care for the earth and to care for one another. I mean, like when Yeshua says love your neighbor as yourself, like he's not saying like love your neighbor as much as yourself. He's saying like love your neighbor as if she or he is you.
Yes, I agree with what you are saying, of course. I feel also the masculine side very important, because if we are just in this divine feminine love, it is important to create also this inner balance between our masculine side, which is actually our protective part. And I feel nowadays that that's also our work, maybe as Order of the Blue Roses, to embody these two parts equally, so that we are not as a woman who is so open and can then be open to abuse, predatory relationships, and also on or codependency, which are also the other side of this big opening. I don't know how you feel about this, but in my experience, you know, I feel this really.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time working with my inner masculine and balancing my inner masculine and feminine. And I feel for me personally, like when I can just be in that sacred feminine, I feel at home. Like when I was like, okay, my masculine side, it just always, it was like a bit challenging for me. So it's interesting because I feel like I have built that inner masculine, but I allow my sacred feminine to take up more space. And I'm blessed to have a beloved who holds that sacred masculine space for me. And I'm so grateful because now I feel like just like for me, my original essence is very, very soft and feminine, and it's where I feel the most at home. And now like he holds that and I can be this, and I'm like, thank you so much for like being that protection. It doesn't mean I can't protect myself, you know, it just means that like my feminine essence just has room to like to just be so full, and that makes my heart so happy. And I absolutely agree that there is that inner marriage that happens that also creates that space for us to be the fullness of our true nature, right? Some people hold more, masculine energy than feminine, but the sacred feminine really hasn't had a place to be fully here. So it's important, I feel, that we give her space to like move through us while having that like inner masculine to protect us, or like the outer masculine as well. To create that balance for creation, right? Like that's the creation energy.
Absolutely. And would you say that there is a journey, a path, an adventure in one's life to live this sacred union, inner union inside, and then you will find the partner who is really in sacred masculine, because the we are mirroring. We are mirroring what we are living is.
Oh my gosh!
Still to work and to learn and to heal inside.
Yeah, and it's such an adventure and a journey. Like I've been on that journey, I feel, my whole life. Because I always knew in my heart, I always knew that my beloved was out there. Like I just knew, and I would be in relationships that kind of mirrored my trauma and all of the things. And then when I really went into my trauma and fully healed it and cultivated my inner masculine, then I met him. And honestly, I was like, oh my goodness, you're just like my inner masculine, but you're a person. And there's so much beauty in those relationships too, because it's really about, can I unconditionally love another human? We hear a lot about like our kings and all of the things, and that's great and all, but in the essence, it's like, can I fully love every part of another human being? And can I fully be loved by another human being? Not because I'm a queen or a priestess, but because I'm messy. I'm, like I'm an imperfect human being. And there's so much healing and magic that happens from that place when both people are too like doing their work, right? So it's not about projecting things onto anyone or anything like that. It's just, can I really just show up in love, and move forward together on this path? Like we found each other, like let's move forward now and help the world and help others and hold this frequency of love so that we bring more love to this world. It's so beautiful. And that's the original essence, right? Like of relationships, right? To anchor more love. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah.
It is a beautiful message. Message of love and of consciousness between feminine and masculine. It is
so beautiful.
You embodied this so beautifully. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you so much.
It was a sacred space we opened here with the Blue Roses order, and I really felt, as we are in this special year, 5-year, and also in this portal eclipse, which is beginning now, it's also a good time to let these voices of this order, the Blue Roses order. It's really not common. We don't. I never heard about this before last year. Actually, it's quite new, and I feel it is good to speak more about this now at this moment of time, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing us together and and giving us space to use our voices. I'm just so grateful
Yeah.
to be with you. Thank you.
So, would you like to maybe if people would like to know more about your work, it is what is your website or your do you want
Absolutely.
to say something?
Thank you. So, so my main work now is the Order of the Blue Rose. I call it the mystical mentorship journey. So I'm about halfway in this year, and then I'll be doing it again in starting July 2022. So, and that's open now for applications as well. And then I also do private Order of the Blue Rose mentorship. And as well, I also do the sacred sexuality and sacred relationships along with sexual trauma healing, because I find them all connected. They're all connected. Yeah, so my website is sacredrose444.com, and on Instagram at Order of the Blue Rose.
Okay, thank you very much. And you are located in the USA?
Yes, I live in Pennsylvania in the United States, and currently in the Order of the Blue Rose, I do have women really from all over the world, which is really, really beautiful to hear the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much
Thank you. This was so wonderful.
for this conversation, and all the best for this flourishment of the blue roses.
You too. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
love.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.